Hey guys, Dexter from OT here. Today I want to show you my top 7 comics. Now these aren't my top 7 comics of all time. Why 7?
I don't know. Cuz.
It's just my list of some of my favorite comics from the past few years. I consider myself a fairly casual comic book reader, so there's probably a lot of things I missed. And this is my first video here, so I haven't really set up anything. I just got like fishing shit and my son's crib. If I left out anything that's fucking awesome, just let me know. I'll check it out. If I love it, I'll send you something. I'll probably send you one of my favorite comics. 7!
Yeah. Final Crisis 6. The Final Crisis series is a hard read compared to the rest on the list. That's one of the reasons it got bumped down. But I love this one because this is the comic book where Bruce Wayne dies. The comic itself, like I said, it's a hard read. You can't just read the Final Crisis series on its own. But the main reason I love this is everything that came from it. The entire DC universe changed from this one event. And other ones on my list are directly related to the events that happened here. Final Crisis changed the DC universe. Some of my favorite and some of the best comics of all time came out because of this event. I'm a huge Batman fan, and to see Bruce Wayne's death hit me hard. Final Crisis will go down in DC history. Number 6. Amazing Spider-Man 639. Spider-Man, also one of my favorite heroes. This issue started off the One Moment in Time series. This series isn't action heavy. Really, it's all drama. In this comic, it's all just about Mary Jane and Peter Parker. Almost everything Spider-Man has always been about Spider-Man trying to be with Mary Jane. Yeah, I know about Gwen Stacy. We're not talking about her right now. So here, this is right after what would have been their wedding. Like I said, this one isn't action based. I love the story. What I love about this is they were together. They were about to get married. But this one fully explains to us, or shows us, why it's never gonna be. Not to mention, the covers on here are amazing. 639, the tuxedo Spider-Man wears is the tuxedo I'm gonna have my wedding day.
Everything down there is very, very bad there.
Number 5. At number 5, Nemesis number 3. Now Nemesis is definitely not a critically acclaimed comic book series. I love Mark Millar, even though it takes him fucking forever to release a series. And this was one of my favorites. I fucking love Mark Millar, especially Nemesis. This makes perfect sense though, because I'm a huge Batman fan. Nemesis is basically the inverse of Batman. What would happen if Batman's parents weren't murdered by a thug, but were murdered by cops and his parents were drug dealers? In this series, Nemesis gives his victims a card with the exact date, time, and the way they're gonna die. Everything he does is extremely complex, super thought out, just like Batman would have done. It's almost like Saw, not only in how complicated the plots are, but even in how gory this is. Mark Millar doesn't hold back at all. Nemesis number 3 has one of the biggest mindfucks in any comic. I love the idea of Batman being a bad guy, and Nemesis hits the mark perfectly. Amazing art, great scripting, the perfect villain, great twist. Nemesis, easily one of my favorite comics. Number 4. Blackest Night. This is one of those that was critically acclaimed. Best series that year. So Blackest Night, number 1 specifically. This takes place right after Final Crisis. So many heroes died in Final Crisis. Actually, my favorite frame in Blackest Night is right after the Flash asked who else died. The Flash, running away from some assholes, ran too fast, went into the Speed Force, and he was just completely out of that time throughout the entire Final Crisis series. So he comes back, Batman's dead, Aquaman's dead, Martian Manhunter's dead, and the display the Green Lantern shows them is just one of my favorite pieces of art. And probably the main reason Blackest Night was so amazing is this is basically DC zombies. Now Marvel Zombies at this time was very big also. They just started off with everybody's a fucking zombie, no backstory. It really wasn't that deep, but it was fucking cool at least. Like I said, a whole bunch of heroes just died. Black Lantern comes in, the Death Ring. Death Ring gave us the awesomeness of the possibility of DC zombies fitting perfectly with the universe. So because of this, we got Zombie Batman. And Blackest Night probably has one of the best pieces of art I've ever seen. So DC Zombies, ride. Number 3. At number 3, Merc with a Mouth. When this series came out, Deadpool was everywhere. For some reason, after X-Men Origins, Deadpool became huge. No thanks to Origins. I guess writers just wanted to show you who Deadpool really was and who he could really be. I couldn't pick a specific issue of Merc with a Mouth, but Merc with a Mouth has my favorite covers of all time, each one referencing pop art. While every other comic I have on this list is extremely serious, this one is funny as hell. Deadpool isn't all cheesy. I love Deadpool's comedy. He's very direct, and being a bad guy, he's fucking awesome. I also loved other Deadpool series that were out at the time, like Prelude to Deadpool Corpse, but this one takes the cake. This is easily the funniest series of comics I've read, and Deadpool's sense of humor fits mine perfectly. Number 2. Superman Batman number 76. I've said plenty of times, one of my favorite moments in the DC universe is after Bruce Wayne's death. It just shows how important Bruce Wayne was in the universe, and being a huge Batman fan, I love that all of this revolved around Batman. Superman's one of my least favorite characters, and this is one of his comics. This is all about him dealing with Bruce Wayne's death. In this same comic, Dick Grayson takes over the cowl. Now Batman and Superman were best friends, and my favorite lines in DC history are in this comic. I always saw Superman as shallow, boring, and overpowered, and this comic shows that he's deep, weak, and even human. Superman just can't get over the fact that Bruce Wayne's gone. This hits him hard, especially when Dick Grayson puts on the cowl. Shit was gonna go down. This comic isn't based around action, but it's probably the best story I've seen of Superman in a long time, and the beginning of a great time in the Batman series. Alright, so let's do a quick recap. At number 7, Final Crisis number 6. At number 6, Amazing Spider-Man 639. At number 5, Nemesis number 3. At number 4, Blackest Night number 1. At number 3, Deadpool's Merc with the Mouth series. At number 2, Superman Batman number 76. And number 1... And what'd you expect? I love The Walking Dead too. It's the main series I still pick up every single time it comes out. With this one I will never stop, and I'm glad Robert Kirkman won't either. He's already said, as long as he keeps selling, he's gonna keep making it, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And it doesn't look like it's gonna stop selling anytime soon. Specifically, I love The Walking Dead number 1. He made this perfectly. It started off with a very, very familiar situation from one of my favorite movies. Now, we all know The Walking Dead art and how awesome it is, but I had never seen a comic that was all black and white. And to be honest, I was skeptical at first just because it was in black and white. But now looking back, I wouldn't have it any other way. Having just the covers colored is perfect. The Walking Dead is a giant now. Probably one of the main reasons I love the series was because that first episode was almost verbatim to the comic. I was there on Halloween night the show premiered, and I was just amazed. Robert Kirkman did an amazing job of bringing something that has been so played out over and over and making it into something we love. As he said before, this series isn't even about zombies. Zombies are in it, but it's about the people. Reading through the series, the main thing you realize is that the only main characters are Rick and Carl. Not to mention in this series, they didn't play out Lori as a total whore right off the bat. This comic forever became a staple in my life and in comic book history. It's gone so far from that to video games, to Game of the Year, books, compendium, TV series, toys, apparel, everything. The Walking Dead number 1 is easily my number 1.
Alright guys, so that's my top 7. Hope you liked it. There's more of these coming. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, you know, everything you can. It's very much appreciated. There's more episodes of OT coming up. I hope you guys enjoyed my top 7 comics, and thanks for watching.